Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Esports Hub's final Call of Duty Black Ops 3 tournament. We're very sorry that we are late on the stream schedule, but the reason behind that, as most of you will know, was because of the Call of Duty update, which they went and dropped on us 11 minutes before we were about to start our tournament. But at least we're here anyway, and it's a fantastic game that we've got for you. Before I introduce these two teams, I'll introduce my co-caster for this evening. John P is going to be the guy alongside me. John, how are we?
Yeah, I'm good, Jack. Looking forward to getting back on the mic with yourself. It's been a while since we've done this, obviously since the end of the Black Ops 3 season. Us guys over at Esports Hub, we've run a few tournaments, but none of them been on stream. But what a game to kick the night off. I was about to say day there, Jack. We've got the top of the top playing in the tournament tonight, and I'm very, very excited to cast it.
Yeah, definitely. Defrag, Delio, Nile, and Sunny B going up against Rated, Shawnee, Zed, and Joe. And I'll talk about this banner protect real quickly before it disappears. Man of War going to be banned straight off the bat. Flashbang and Concussion will follow. The Purifier will go from Zerg. RC Car is going to go as well. Heatwave and Overclock will go, and it's going to be left down to Joe to do that final ban, which I think he's actually going to skip. So it's going to be a pretty simple banner protect between these two teams, something that we've seen throughout Black Ops 3. Pretty similar. Seeing the Purifier go on this map's no surprise either. Obviously, that Bunker Hill can be so dominant with that Purifier in hand, and obviously the Man of War going once again. We always see that one banned. It's such a melt weapon online. It really does kill in just the 3 bullets. So I was probably seeing that one go as well. But like you said, let's talk about these two teams. Pro players to the left, pro players to the right. The two team members are quite interesting, but the left-hand side, which I've already called off you, Defrag, Zerg, Nile, and Sunny B, they're going to be known as Bids 9. Over on the right-hand side is going to be Team Z, which is obviously because Z is going to be on their team. But it's going to be interesting to see these two teams go up against each other. It's going to be, surely, I would expect it to be an exciting match, John, especially with such high-caliber players on both times.
Yeah, exactly. These players are known for putting up decent numbers as well as great teamwork. That's why they're playing at the top tier level within the game. And so far, Jack, you can see the specialists that we've been picked. We can see Defrag taking the Camo, Delio, also known as Zerg, taking the Scythe. Niall taking the War Machine, which is a bit one of those picks where towards the end of this game, we actually see that specialist coming to play a little bit more, especially on a map like Stronghold, where there's a lot of those open type of hills. You can really do some damage there. Sunny B being that submachine gun and sort of objective-based player, going to be taking that kinetic armor. However, on the other side, though, Rated taking the Tempest over Scythe, and I want you to analyze that in a little bit, Jack. Shawnee taking the kinetic, Zed taking the Camo, and the Psychosis coming out of Joe. It's not going to be a mere matchup here, Jack, and in your words, if you can kind of sum it up for us, what are the specialists going to be to watch, and how do the picks kind of conflict each other?
Yeah, the specialist is a great thing to start on. They're very interesting to see them from both these two teams. I'll go back to what you spoke about, which was the Racer taking the Tempest over the Scythe. It's been a conversation that us casters and analysts have had throughout the whole Call of Duty Black Ops 3 about which one is better, and I think it depends on the map, and it also depends on the different style of play that the player who has picked the specialist does. Rated this chance, going to go with the Tempest. Obviously, that link-up play, that chain reaction that you do see with the Tempest, going to be good for those hills like Mansion and also Bunker. If you're able to pop one player off, you're surely going to be able to chain it up for another few kills. But then the Scythe is equally as good on a map like this. So many long lanes of sight. If you're able to pre-fire with it, you're able to pick up a few kills as well. But the most interesting one that I want to talk about is the War Machine choice for Nile. And I think it's a good replacement for the Purifier. Obviously, the Purifier is seen as one of those specialists you can hold a hill down with, hold down let's say, a doorway with. I think you can equally do the same thing with the War Machine. You can pre-fire that doorway, or you can pre-fire into the hill. And it equally does the same type of work that you see the Purifier do. It may not last as long and not have the same effect. But I do think seeing Nile being able to use that mainly over towards that bunker side, or if it comes down to that last scrappy parts of the hill, if Nile has to have a War Machine just to break it, it's going to cause a lot of confusion for those two teams. So like you said, not a mirror matchup, but interesting specialist choices it is from both of these guys. And also want to go on board with the fact that Joe has gone with that Psychosis as well. Psychosis is such a fantastic specialist. We spoke about it so much in the past. It's got two powers in my eyes. Personally, it's got the distraction ability, obviously throwing those players off, don't know which one of them to shoot at, and also acts as a meat shield as well. Those drones do get in the way of your body and actually stop a few of those bullets from coming through, so it'll be interesting to see when Joe decides to use that. Also, as you guys know, Psychosis is one of those specialists that does come back a little bit faster than the other specialists these guys have gone with, but with Overclock being banned, it's not going to come back as fast as Joe would like. But we're kicking it off anyway. Stronghold, Hardpoint going to be our first map. I was going to run through some cinematics with you, but because we had so much to say, they're going to have to wait for map number 2. I'm sure by this far into the game, though, you guys know the layout for Stronghold. We've seen it a lot of so far. But guys, if you don't know what this is our £325 4v4 tournament. Like I said at the start of this, it is the last one that we're doing for Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It is going to be kicking off with the beta. But unfortunately, we are actually going to have an ended game here. So we're going to try and get this one restarted. But I'll tell you what, while we do wait then, let's quickly do chuck to that animation really quickly for you to just see the map of Stronghold. So here it is anyway, guys. Pay attention to this. Welcome back, guys. We have returned. There was just a quick overview of the map Stronghold. First one going to be in this series. Hardpoint is going to be, as you guys know, that's the rotation for competitive on Black Ops 3, and also it's going to be a best of 3 this one as well. But I need to ask you the question: who do you want to jump on board with? And it's a little bit difficult to choose from, John. There's quite a few players that are so good to watch.
Yeah, and Stronghold being one of those maps where you kind of usually see a 2-on-2 split, or maybe a 3-on-1 split, just because of the mansion control with the submachine gun dominance as well as the AR dominance from long range. But I'm straight on board with Dilo, or as you guys might know him as Zerg, going to be one of the main AR players to watch here from this squads of Bid 9. And already, this first hill jack is going to be one of those hills that's always heavily contested. And it looks like it's just going to be that after the first 10 or so seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be D5 picking up a nice 2-piece there. Going to go in for the third as well. Now going to be able to pick up another one as well, assisting there on the kill feed. And it will be the first initial points going in the team of Biz 9. It's going to pick up another 2-piece of his own. So it's going to be them filling up the kill feed so far. But like you said, John, it is a scrappy hill, this one. It's not one you normally expect to see people build such a lead on. But it's aggressive players coming in from now. There's actually going to taste a nade from his own teammate, Zerg. But it's going to be a few kills being picked up. Joe and Rated working together. Previously, they were on Splice. So those two are going to have a little bit of chemistry between themselves when it comes to working together. Shawnee going to try and peek out, but not going to happen. As Niall will be perfectly positioned on that head glitch. However, as I say, that Rated going with the interesting choice of the HVK in this one. Not going to go with that M8. Going to play a little bit more aggressively with that AR. Kind of acts as if it was a submachine gun. But you can begin to see those arrows pushing around that back right-hand side, trying to see if they can hold spawns for their team. But there's going to be Zerg with the AR looking for the 2-piece. He won't be able to find that though. The hill will be held by Defrag though, who has actually been a very, very good submachine gun player throughout Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and then a player that I'm excited to see going into Infinite Warfare, especially with how fast-paced this new game mode is. And alongside him as well, I'm expecting to see Sunny B be a similar type of player as well. But 25-16 is going to be the score. 7-4 to start it off for Sunny B. He's having a good start to this one, but the hill will now closely be contested, as you can see the break from Team Z, and they're going to be beginning to push in for this hill.
Yeah, still though, Jack. Nice rotations coming in from the squad of Biz9, taking the initial 20-odd points, but it's going to be a clean break from this squad of Team Z. And speaking of the man, 1-8 right now, Jack. Z, one of those players where we do know he can usually go off when he's really heated up and his shot is on point. Currently struggling at 1-8 right now, but then again, we are only into the second hill. But the next hill we're going to rotate into, Jack, the one over by that half window, or half wall rather, it's one of those hills where not only is it important to grab the spawns just for that hill in particular, but also the rotations going over to this next back satellite spawn. It's actually going to be Niall in early hold of this spawns, as Joe is going to have one gunfight towards the back woodlands area. It's going to be a defrag. Nice gunfight win there. Sunny B does go ahead and take him down, and Sunny B right now, Jack, having a great start to this game, sitting at 10-6. And this is what you want to see out of your submachine gun players, really doing the dirty work, not only in the hill, but also picking up the kills when he needs to.
Yeah, definitely. It was a fantastic rotation coming in from Team Z there. Shawnee was going to be able to go around the back, pick up those few kills, and as you can see, that's worked in their favour. Now spawns are going to be the thing that they want, especially going into that next hill as well. It goes over towards that rock side, so you kind of keep the same spawns for both these sides, and now you can begin to see that Biz9 team all going to try and push around that back satellite area. Racer going to pick up a 2-piece. One of those is actually going to be his teammate as well. But now going to be pushing this rocks area with 13 seconds remaining. Trying to get back satellite control will be the aim here, as Defrag's going to be positioning himself towards this bottom satellite area, just waiting for those players to begin to push through. Niall going to be alongside him with the HVK, not going to be able to win that gunfight though. Zed picking it up. Like he said, having a slow start, but it's an important kill as Niall now spawns out over towards bunker. Defrag's going to have to stay alive in this situation though, and Zerg's going to assist him, picking up 2 kills. That one player towards back satellite will drop as well, so fantastic plays from Zergs there. Keeps those players off. There's another kill for Zerg as well. Finally will drop, but it was such a fantastic play for him. He's able to keep spawned. His teammates are spawning closer, and he basically single-handedly spawned every single player on Team Z out there, and they still are spawning in this mansion area. Now, as you can see, those points are beginning to build up for this team Biz9, as now the push from the front of the hill will be coming in from this Team Z, seeing if they can pick anything up. But the kill feed keeps lighting up blue when I spot it, and Delio is 13-9 and is not missing a minute with that M8.
Yeah, Zerg really showing up when he needs to here, kind of rallying the squad, picking up the huge kills there, like you said, on the spawns, but also pushing out with the submachine gun when he did eventually pick it up. But it is going to rotate into this next bunker hill, and Jack, we know this as the money hill, as Shawnee picks up a lovely 3-piece there. Apparently he doesn't get single kills, he just picks up 3 pieces all games. But we're going to rotate into this, what we call the bunker hill, also known as the money hill now, Jack, and it's interesting to see if that player who did pick the war machine up, I believe it was... No, I think the war machine was actually the wrong pick. That's why we actually started the game again.
Right.
Sorry.
There you go, then.
However, equaling the factor of the war machine, we've got the Tempest. Tempest can really go off in this hill. Money hill, if you get a good lockdown here, use the specialist to your best of abilities, you can definitely pick up a lot of time. Yeah,
and unfortunately as well, Sunny B actually opted to use the kinetic armor straight off the bat. There did die straight away, so he's not going to be able to have that anymore. 4 players drop though. Joe's going to be able to have streaks. 75 from the Cerberus as well, so we're going to stay on the board with him. Going to use this sight to see if he can get himself some more streaks. Going to be pre-aiming this corner. These players will begin to push. They cannot let this hill stay contested for a long period of time. Joe's going to jump out though, but Zerg, once again coming in clutch. He's been speaking about how Zerg has been picking up numerous amounts of kills to assist his team. And that's a big one as well. I don't know if he's realised, but taking Joe off that Cerberus streak is going to assist his team a lot more, as well as shutting down the Scythe in the process as well. But this game is close and it's what we expected. Didn't expect either of these two teams to blow each other out the water with them being such high caliber players. Zerg going to be towards that mid-map area again with the M8 rated, pulling out that Tempest. Going to be able to pick up 2 kills. Shawnee going to find another one as well. And the kill feed is just back and forth trading between these two teams. I'm on board with Rated at the minute, see if he can pick up this kill towards that rocks area. Was going to be Defrag hitting some beautiful shots there with the submachine gun. Now will begin to push into the hill. Finds himself another one alongside now with a 2-piece of his own. And that kill feed has lit up all blue, and now they're going to try and hold this hill to see if they can claw their way back a little bit into this one. 115 to 100 will be the score. Not a lot of points to bring back though, with 32 seconds remaining. Defrag does peak at the wrong time there. Joe will find him. Zerg going to be the last player alive, closest enough to cause any contest. Will pick up a 2-piece though once again. Zerg finding another 2-piece. Has the sight to use as well. Interesting to see when he begins to pull that out. But with 19 seconds remaining, it'll all be about that back red van rotation. Who can hold those spawns? And it looks like the scrap time will go in favour of Team Z. But last time we saw this, Team Z were the ones originally holding spawns, and they were broken by this Team Biz9. See if possibly this one player at the back here, Niall, needs to stay alive for as long as he can. He has a lot of pressure coming from behind him. Not going to happen though. And as you can see, those players will spawn out now. Niall losing that gunfight. But the red arrows are going to be closing in this one with favourite spawns.
Yeah, it's got to be some key individual gunfight wins here from the squad of Biz9 if they want to carry on and try and rack up the start of this hill and really pull the team back together. And oh my god, Defrag nearly turns and burns on that player Zed there, but Zed does actually pick up 2 pieces. And you got to say, we did give Zed a little bit of flack at the start of the game. He did start 1-8, but really starting to pick it up right now. He's got 3 players straight in front of him, does find the first. Interesting to see if he can pick up any more kills. Can he find the second? No, he's actually now taking him down with an RK5, but Shawnee does go ahead and pick up Defrag. But Joe in the hill now, 30 seconds left. And Jack right now, if the hill time goes towards Team Z, this last scrap time, you mentioned the fact that these being such top caliber plays, we don't often see it really getting blown out the water, but it is looking like it is the team of Zed to try and really put a gap between these two teams.
Yeah, and you've got to begin to take a look at Joe. He's having a fantastic game. He's able to start off, obviously, not quite managing to grab that Cerberus, was very, very close to it though. And every single time we go on board with him, he's now calling the Hellstorm. We're going to be able to pick up Niall towards the back left-hand side there. So he's doing quite well, but it actually that Hellstorm kill will spawn those players out. So it's actually going to be a crucial kill. I didn't expect that Hellstorm, when it got 1 kill, to be so important, but it is now going to spawn those players out. Niall somehow getting the Mount headshot, sorry. He's able to pick that kill up, but now it's going to be Niall's team spawning towards that back left-hand side with the hill. It is being held by Zed, and there's a lot of players for that Biz9 team to kill, and they are going to do it though. As I say, 3 players go down, and now they're beginning to spawn. Now it's going to be Zerg holding down the hill, trying to claw their way back into this one. 177 to 125 is your score at the minute. Delio going to be towards this mid-map area, see if he can pick anybody off from the head glitch, as those players will now begin to push around once again through satellites. We're going into the second time we've been on this hill, and it's going to be Shawnee picking up a 2-piece. Like you said, he doesn't pick up the singular kills, he only picks up the 2 pieces. Down towards that back left-hand side though, Zerg going to be picking up important kills. I expect to see him pull the scythe out very soon as he looks to try and hold down that back satellite spawn, and it's been back and forth all the way so far, John. 1 minute it's Zerg's team spawning out towards the back left, and then it's Zed's team. It's going to be, looks like Zed's team will hold it going over towards this back satellite hill.
Yeah, exactly. You said it was quite close. However, it is going to be around about a 60-point advantage here for the squad of Team Z, as it is going to be Biz9 in early control of this hard point. But already in the kill feed so far, as Dido finally picks up a kill on Joe, but does get traded straight out by Shawnee. And look at these spawns coming in. These arrows here from the team of Biz9 spawning all the way out towards this mansion control. And if you're kind of a supporter of these players from Team Z, this is exactly what you want. Getting the spawns in your favour. You're already up by 60 points. Looking to add to that. It's a great hold so far from the squad of Team Z.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on board with Ray to see if he can pick anything up. Delio going to come in with another 2-piece. He's been doing that throughout the game. Zed's going to return with his own though and say, you can 2-piece, so can I. And now Zerg will begin to rotate over towards the back left-hand side. Going to pull out that scythe, expecting the first gunfight here. And it is going to be rated. He will meet that scythe pre-aiming that head glitch though. It's going to be very difficult to take that player down. He's got 2 players to deal with. He's also getting flanked at the same time as well by Sunny B, who will pick up the kill. And now all 3 players do drop. They're going to be getting the favoured spawn though. Over towards his back left-hand side of the mansion. Zed waiting for his teammates to lead the big charge going in towards this hill. Tempest from Niall going to pick up Zed now, and those players will not be able to push. Obviously, the Tempest link will happen otherwise. However, rated trade on the other Tempest player there. Going to be able to take him down now. Going to pick up a 2-piece as he goes to the grave. That scythe, though, from Zerg is going to be so important as it does take down that Tempest player as well. Nades come in, though. Joe gets a 2-piece as he begins to push through as well. And it looks like there's going to be 3 kills picked up there. And Sunny B is just going to try and stay alive for as long as he can. That's another wasted kinetic armor though. The second time Sunny B's popped kinetic armor and not been able to do anything useful with it. Not going to be very happy with that one. With 220 to 163, Zed's team looking like they're getting closer and closer to trying to close this one out. But the Sunny B and his team are staying in this one as much as they possibly can. Going to look to try and hold this scrap time. It's going to be a camo pop. I saw there. That was going to be D5. Interesting play there. Popping the camo for just 7 seconds. I'm not too sure I agree with that play. Maybe could have used it to break this mid hill. But it will be the scrap time going in favour of Zed's team. Rotations do come in now though, but it's going to be the most important gunfights now for Team Biz9. This hill is a very scrappy hill. When Team Z are on so confidently and clearing out the kill feed like they are, they could close the game out here.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you've got Rated just zipping them shots in with the HVK right now. Also, Sean, you got to say props to the man. 36 and 30, 1 minute 22 in the hill, doing the dirty work for his squad. And it is all red, like you said, Jack, in the kill feed. And right now, what we usually see, a very scrappy hill, is, like you said, the team from Team Z is just locking it down. And all the points are going in their favour as finally the Delio and Co does go ahead and end up breaking it. But 25 seconds left. Right now, you've got to really say, I don't want to say perfect hard point from the squad of Delio and Co, but they can't really afford to get broken at any time where there's only 13 points left for the squad of Team Z to really just kind of wrap the game up. But this Mansion Hill, you can usually take a lot of time with it, providing you get that power position control. You get 1 player set up towards the top tables, 1 player pushed out towards the middle of the map, and obviously then submachine gun players in the hill. But It looks like it's going to be just a 1 point needed from Shawnee and Co over at Team Z as a contest is going to come in. However, Delio does pick up a huge gunfight there. Z takes down Sonny B, T-Frag takes down Shawnee. But unfortunately, it's still contested. Delio versus that player who was rated does get him taken down. And Delio and Co are hanging on by the skin of their teeth here, Jack.
Yeah, they are. Delio's going to be inside this hill. Head glitching the boss, and if he can pick up a few kills, do come in from the front. He's going to pick up one. Doesn't find the second. That's going to be Z. 3 players go down. It's all down to Sonny B to stay alive as long as he possibly can. It's not going to happen though. And that's going to be final match on game number 1 at 250 to 193 for a second there. I thought Bids9 were going to do it. They were going to bring their way back into it, but obviously the rotation all the way over the other side of the map. When one team needs 1 point, eventually they will just rotate and pick up that final second they need. However, though, Bids9 tried to stay alive as long as they could. And to be honest with you, John, taking a look at this game, it was a battle of Zed's submachine guns versus Bids9's ARs. Zerg tried everything he could to stay in this game with Niall, the 2 players trying with the ARs to start off with. I think Niall ended up pulling a sub out at some point as well, I'm not too sure. But you just could not deal with Joe and Zed, and also Shawnee, I think, had a sub out at one point as well. Too much sub pressure from the team of Zed was just implying that pressure to Zerg, who was trying to stay alive with the AR. Fantastic game from them, 43 and 33. We saw him picking up numerous amounts of 2 pieces and very good rotations from him as well. But like I said, guys, 250 to 193. It's going to be 1-0 up to Team Z. But we are going to be going into map 2 very, very shortly. We'll cut to a very quick commercial break. And when we do return, guys, like I said, we're going to have map number 2.
words fall on deaf ears, cause you ain't talking that truth. And this is where it stays, never clean when it splits. Saying it's a love, fuck it. Only time we love is when we lit. That ain't that a bitch. Sex on the wall, drinks and the drugs, falling pictures in the hall, and we are just gone, but never so close. Sick lie, poison, take another dose. Crash and burn, fall from the sky. See it in your face, this is eating you alive. Heart on your sleeve, won't carry on. This time when we get dressed, I'm gone. Staring at this phone, I should just push send. Digest my words when the clock hits 8 a.m. Appeal out, switch lanes, lights flash in the street. Pride's left in the dark, no heart, both weak till we meet. Close to our feet, no time for the bed. 3 days, no sleep, you know how we get. Bottles on the ground, love's on the counter. In the beginning, who would've thought we would amount to the people just lost? Look at what we did, maybe it's on me and thoughts that I had. Hearts on our sleeve, won't carry on. This time when we get dressed, I'm gone, gone.
Turn to gray from blue wasn't what I imagined. Take a look at what we've done and what we've become. Take a look at where we've gone from dusk to dawn. If I stayed in your arms, I would've never got this far. I fell for you too fast. Don't know what happened. I really thought that this could last.
Welcome back, guys, to the Esports Hub. We are into map number 2 here. So obviously it's Bids 9 going up against Zed, but obviously the team names don't talk about which players play for them. It's Joe, Shawnee, Zed, and Rated versus Niall, Sunny B, Defrag, and Delio, also known as Zerg. Map number 1, if you guys have just joined us, did go in the favour of Team Zed, and that was obviously it was Team Zed, and Zed obviously alongside Shawnee and Joe Rated were able to do that one. But like I said though, Niall and Sunny B and Defrag and Zerg did have a very good start to it. He was actually picking up a lot of kills with the M8 and he was doing quite well, but it was just that submachine gun pressure from that Team Z that just caused so much problems for them. It was a very close game as well though, John. 250 to 193 I think it finished, so it wasn't like it was a blowout at all, but we didn't expect that at all between these two caliber of players. But Fringe uplink it is going to be, remember guys, it is top 16, so this is a best of 3, so if it is Team Z that are able to win this one, they will obviously be knocking out that other team and advancing in our tournament. But Banner Protector is upon us anyway. Man of War going to go again. Active Camo gone. Overclock is going to go again for the second time. Flashbang and Concussion. There's Price seeing those ones go. Overdrive will disappear as well. And interestingly, I think the one we have to talk about the most is that M8 ban towards the end there. Everything is pretty simple for uplink, but M8 being banned, wonder why that. Why do you think that one might have been taken out there, John?
Not too sure, to be honest with you, Jack. Just plainly possibly because of, we did see, like you said, Delio going completely off in the last game, and I don't know, maybe the squad of Zed thinks like, you know what, maybe he's the only one possibly going to cause us problems, especially a map like Fringe being heavily AR dominated. You often see a 3-on-1 split. You hardly ever see more than 1 or 2 submachine guns on this map, so possibly a kind of strategical thing coming out of the squad of Zed and Co there, thinking, you know what, Delio caused us a few problems with the AR last map. He was the only one really putting up big numbers for his squads. If we can take him out of the game, it should be possibly an easy win for them, maybe, not too sure. But definitely going to look to see what type of guns they bring to kind of, obviously like you said, the M8's being banned, possibly see an XR2, possibly?
Yeah, it could do. I mean, we definitely saw the H2K being used, HVK, H2K is an organisation, the HVK being used. We saw that one being used by Rated, so maybe he might see him pull that out again. But I think the main reason why we saw that one banned is because, like you said, Zerg was being an influential player with that M8, and we saw him, you know, using that quite a lot to his advantage. But also to take into consideration as well that this is an AR map like Stronghold was, and Team Z were able to win that with submachine guns. I think at one point they had 3 submachine guns out. So definitely proving that without the ARs in the way, those submachine gun players can cause enough destruction. Obviously, Joe been such a good submachine gun player throughout Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and he was showing it in that series as well. And with it just being this best of 3 series, and this obviously being that deciding match now, like I said, if Team Z were able to win this, then they do go out. Things are going to have to change within the Banner Protect to try and throw the other team off. But Specialist Draft is here. Let's take a break it down for you. So Joe's going to go with the Heatwave, Shawnee with the Annihilator, Zed going to go with Kinetic Armor, Rated with the Tempest again. We saw him pick up a few kills with that one on the hardpoint. Niall going to go with the Psychosis, Sunny B with Kinetic, Defrag with the Heatwave, and Zerg with the Tempest. So only difference being here that the team of Zed are going to actually go with 2 weapon specialists in the Annihilator and the Tempest, whereas it's 3 point scoring specialists, I'd like to call them, over on the other side of Bids 9. So it's going to be a little bit more gun orientated for Team Z. But I like the Psychosis used from Niall though. Psychosis, like I said previously in that hardpoint, can be good for 2 things, obviously the meat shield and also the distractions, but especially in uplink as well. When you're running that drone, popping that Psychosis before you get towards that last little sprint towards putting those points on for your team can cause enough distractions to get those points. But score streaks are currently being edited, and while that's happening, the game will now be begun. Sorry, I thought the score streaks were being edited, but they have been completed. We're ready to get this one underway. Map number 2, like I said. John, who do you want to jump on board with to start this one off?
I mean, I kind of want to jump on board with the squad over from Team Z just to see if the map number 1 win can really give them some momentum into this next map. And I want to start on board with the man himself, Zed. We saw him earlier, Jack, on that Stronghold hardpoint have a really slow start to the game. I believe he went 1-8 or 1-9, if I'm correct in saying that. With the submachine gun, obviously we did touch on the fact that Fringe, a big map, that is going to be an AR dominated map, but the submachine gun role, especially on a game mode like Uplink, is vitally important due to the fact you're kind of going to be filling the gaps in the map, if you know what I mean, kind of getting behind, being a nuisance against the other team and really picking up that ball and try and work towards trying to put some of them points through. So it'll be interesting to see what route Zed takes to make his way towards this ball and try to pick up a first few kills on the map. But it's going to be one of those things where I think that if the squad of Zed and Co can carry on the dominating performance like we saw in map number 1, we saw them all drop 40 bombs, if I'm correct, and all go positive, if I'm correct in saying that as well, as it is going to be Delio taking that first kill of the game going up against Rated.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at a few of the classes as well. Team Z, Shawnee and Rated, both going to go with that XR2 like you were talking about. So it is going to be a burst weapon of their choice, but not the M8, which is the preferred one we see players go with. Zerg, as he's chosen to go with an XR2 as well, he has. So he's going to use that one now with the, going to be going with the XR2 as well. And then the last two are going to be the submachine gun players, Defag and Sunny B. So it's going to be the same for both these two teams, the 2 AR, the 2 sub setup. Sunny B, however, there will be towards his mid-map area. He's going to have one player jumping towards his right-hand side. He's going to go for that one-point throw we've seen so often throughout Black Ops 3. Not going to hit it, though. Might be able to run on and get some extra points here. All those 3 players are going to turn around. He's literally got a swarm chasing him here. Is he going to be able to get these points off? Does not get to the ball in time. Shawnee recognising that play from Zerg, spots him behind the rock. Now you're going to see Joe take the ball towards the right-hand side. Not often to throw this ball out and respawn it towards that mid-map area. Actually will opt to push towards this right-hand side. Going to go through mid-map. Now we're going to have a few players in front of him to deal with, though. His lead blocker does go down. Just took the ball over towards the right-hand side. The Psychosis was popped there, I think. Rated, however, they're going to be able to pick up that kill. Big important kill there from Rated, and now the first 2 points are on the board for that team.
Yeah, some nice communication coming out of the squad of Team Z. They're opting to realise that Rated was on the overextend. That player, I believe, like you said, it was Joe who threw that ball straight over towards that back tin side. Rated picks it up, and the first 2-point play of the game does go ahead and go through. And you got to say, Shawnee's had a really good start to this game so far, Jack. We saw him go off with the submachine gun on that Stronghold, proving he can do it with the AR as well. Currently sitting at 5 and 2, looking to pick up his 6th kill if he can. Sunny B, however, does cut him down. Joe does trade out and now trades out that kill as well. So far, he's back and forth. And against 2 teams that are really made of some top caliber players, Jack, I wouldn't really expect to like the hardpoint to see a real blowout. Where if you saw like a pro team go up against like a top amateur team or a team not as talented, you'd often see the pro team really blow the less capable team out of the waters. But we've got to say all 8 of these players are really capable of going off when they need to. As the ball is in the hand of Zed. Going to be running towards this tin area here, and now he actually just picks up a huge gunfight win there on the Shawnee, cutting that player down, and that push from the squad of Biz9 gets shut down, and always going to be reset. And just like that, what looked like possibly going to be a possible 2-point play again for the team of Team Z. There's some great team defense coming out there.
Yeah, and it looks like Team Z are taking a very different route. Normally we see most teams go down that tracks area trying to force their way through and see if they can convert some points, but it looks like they're going to keep rotating this over towards that tin area. It works for them to start off with. And I like the play calls from them, obviously changing up the meta that we normally see. That big important kill. Once again, Rated going to be picking it up as he goes towards that tin area, but there's going to be one more player there waiting for him. That will be Zerg, who's now going to have a kill to make, and he does pick up the 2-piece that he needed to. Ball's going to be back in their hand now. Those 2 players rushing down that track side. Sunny B and Defag, the 2 submachine gun players, are going to get as aggressive as they can, see if they can pick up a few kills. Sunny B drops though. Defag going to take one to the grave with him because he does drop as well. Rated with another 2-piece. Rated has been picking up some important kills throughout this map here. Picked him up through the tin area and also doing his bits on defense as well. There's going to be one player coming from behind him. Did not realise that Niall was in that area. That will be a Tempest that drops as well. Going to find another one towards his fences area. Not going to pick it up though. Joe with the submachine gun going to find and clear that kill up. And now we'll have a clear path to run for a short while. But it actually looks like there will be one player in Defag. This is going to be a really important kill here. If Defag drops, there could be points on the board. The beatdown comes in from Joe as he flies through. Pops the heatwave as well to guarantee the 2 points. And actually picks up a kill as well. And now Joe has got himself in a position that the other team are going to worry about. He needs to be killed as soon as possible. And just like that, Sunny B picks up a very important kill towards that top Grandma's area. There's another important kill towards the back as well. And that will be the base cleared. And now you can begin to see that team of Biz9 begin to push up towards this right-hand side of tracks once again as they try to gain back control, pushing that ball over towards fences.
Yeah, 2 huge kills there coming out of Sunny B, picking up that player. Joe obviously does go ahead and put the 2-point play through. But if Joe stays alive, then he can really play that nuisance role, like I mentioned, in the base, just really filling the gaps when he needs to. As a 1-point play is going to get sunk from Delio, or as you guys might know him as Zerg, over the top of Red. We see a lot of players hit that 1-pointers, and we said it a lot throughout the Esports Hub throughout Season 1, how important it is to hit 1-pointers and not just consistently go for 2. Delio showing a perfect example of how to hit a 1-pointer over the top of Red there, as he does pick up 2 kills as well. Got a Tempest to work with now, 13 and 7, having a really another good game. The ball's in the hand of Defray. He's going to actually go ahead and throw that ball straight over to that player, which is Zerg. However, he is going to have to try and stay out here as he's got 3 players stuck straight on top of him. And I think he's actually just kind of baited out all of these players. Can he put another 1-point play through? And no, Zed just stopping the ball before it goes ahead and makes his way through that portal. Oh, look at this push here, Jack. 3 players soaring down towards that tracks. The ball gets thrown up from Zed. However, them players do actually shut them players down. It is going to be ball in the hands of Joe. Possibly another 1-point play here. Trying to hit the buzzer beater.
There he goes towards that back left hand side, like you said, towards that Peaches. 5 seconds remaining. There might come with that buzzer beat you were talking about, but it does go straight over though. Not going to be points on the board for Team Z there, but not that they're going to be too worried about that one. They are leading this one 4-1. and looking to close this series out. Once again, though, can we just take a look at Zerg? 14 and 80s are doing this game, and we spoke about him in that hard point as well, doing so well with the AR. They tried to ban that mate just to take Zerg a little bit out of the game, but it looks like he's sticking around, though. Defrag 6 and 13, not necessarily having the best game from him. Very explosive submachine gun player, though. I'm sure if he manages to get his way into this one a little bit more, he'll be able to put some points on the board for his team and get in those difficult areas. So difficult for submachine gun players to play this map. It's a very difficult map to play, especially with the long lanes of sights, with those AR players just positioned particularly at the end of the map waiting for you. But that is going to be some smoke grenades, I think, that do come out from Zed there. That is correct. He's okay at Karma to work with as well. Looks like he might set himself up for the 1-point throw over the top of this barn. He does release it. Pops to connect Karma as well. Therefore, he's able to stay alive. There's some points on the board. Niall's going to pick up a 2-piece, though. We'll have that one player in Shawnee to deal with. Not going to be able to pick him up now. You would think you got to take a look at Zed's own team is going to be able to put this team in this spawn trap. However, Zerg has got behind got behind Shawnee there, who does have the Annihilator in his hand. So this will be a big kill here because Shawnee at this point in time is trying to hold down the base. It is going to be the big kill from Zerg. They're now going to have to try and stop the ball from going through. The ball does get thrown. It does fall over. That's the 4th 1-point throw missed in this game so far. Like you said, John, earlier about what we've been talking about all season, those 1-point throws can really come back and really punish you sometimes if you do not hit them. But like I said, 5-1 for Team Z, they're looking like they're comfortable at the minute. But here comes a track push, as it could be a first 2-pointer for Team Biz9.
Yeah, ball in the hands of now, like you said, looking to try and put a potential 2-point play through. Does go for the beatdown, however, got help in the hands of Defrag. And it looks like it is going to be the first 2-point plays coming through from the squad of Biz9 now. They're nearly ends up choking that 2-point play, running out of dust movement. Luckily, he did fall on top of the fence. But this is we see the first 2-point play come through now. We need to just really try and see this Biz9 squad lock them in, lock at the opposite team in that tin spawn trap, Campbell. We know how many points you can rack up if you get the team. One player sitting on that kind of back head glitch, the back god spot we like to call it, watching the tin wrap back. One guy sitting in the middle of the map, sitting in dubs, and it looks exactly like the squad of Biz9 are listening to me right now, Campbell. The spawn trap is in full initiation, as it is 3 dead ball in the hands of now, once again trying to work his way to try and get another 2-point play, and it does go through. 5-5 now with the beatdown, and 3 down, 4 down again, Jack. Gotta say, this right now is looking very, very worrying if you're a supporter of Team Z.
Yeah, and that all came from Defrag being exactly what I said earlier, that explosive submachine gun player. He started off towards that L wall area, was able to push through, picking up that player with some beautiful shots on the head glitch, and he's still going. There's another 2 kills for Defrag. He's applying so much submachine gun pressure at the minute. It was like as if he was listening to me say it in the call. He just went off with that submachine gun. He now has the ball in hand. There's a 1-point throw, and now we have a change of the lead. Defrag going to throw that 1-point throw. Like I said, Biz9 team now going to be up by 1 point though, but it's not a very big lead to have with 2 minutes 30 remaining. As Shawnee now has ball in hand, is he going to chuck it over towards that right-hand side of tracks? There will be a player waiting for that. It's going to be rated, but it's a fantastic heat wave from Defrag once again. He comes through with a clutch kill. And he's going to find a second as well. Zerg will take down that final player in defense, and there will go down that last player in Shawnee. Defrag and Zerg working together as a team, as a duo, to see if they can bring this one back for their team. They are now back in the lead, as they're now going to be pushing down this right-hand side, trying to reenact what we saw Team Z do, going through that tin area and forcing their way through that small gap. Sunny B opted to think maybe it's better off if we go through this mid-map area, but maybe he'll go down this right-hand side, trying to cause a bit of a distraction if he can. Ball does get thrown over there. Sunny B not expecting that other player to be there, and he will drop those. It's all going to be down to Zerg, who is nowhere near the ball to be able to put any points on for his team. It's now going to be another base defense coming in from Zerg. First kill will go in favour of him though, taking down Zed. And now towards the mid-map area, Shawnee just debating on whether to take it down tracks or wait for his teammates to just pick up a few more kills to start off this one. But then Shawnee will be holding the ball towards that back left-hand side. It will be kills that will need to be picked up first. Now going to go for that tin area. Joe will be lead blocker. It's going to be one player that snuck past Joe though. He will be in this dubs area now. Going to spot him though. It's going to be Niall. He's going to know this ball's going to come down this left-hand side. There's the ball gets thrown ahead. It's going to get thrown to Joe. What a beautiful manual pass that was. As that 2-point throw does go through. Joe will pick up the kill as well. Ball resits to mid-map area, but we've had another lead change.
Yeah, exactly. Some great use of the passing ability coming out of Team Z there. And what was it? It looked like the squad of Biz9 and Co was going to really try and lock that spawn trap in. We see it get broken over. The ball in the hands of Sunny B, looking to try and put a 2-point play through. And you just said we had a lead change. Is there going to be another one? And no, that ball just falls marginally short. Some great kills coming out of Shawnee there. Picking up a 2-piece. And note Shawnee here, Campbell, on a 4-point spree. Trying to work towards that dart if he can. So the slow wall runs. Great movement coming out of him as he does pick up Defrag. However, Dido does go ahead and get the trade on him. And Joe, I like that play out of him. Moses only 40 seconds left. Get that reset. And right now, it is going to be one push from the squad of Biz9 that is going to either make or break, either win the map or unfortunately go ahead and lose it. As Shawnee picks up a lovely 2-piece with the Annihilator. Can he find the third? 25 seconds left here, Jack, and it's one of those things where all kills have to go in favour of this Biz9 lineup.
Yep, Zed, smart play again, taking a leaf out of the book there from Joe. He's going to pick that ball up. He's going to chuck it towards that ball reset. Players up against the left on Biz19. They know that it's just not enough time for them to be able to do anything. Unfortunately, guys, very, very good players are going to go out of this tournament. Delio, Sunny B, I think it was Niall, and the other player was Ray. Who was the other player on the team? Delio, Sunny B, Niall, and...
I should know this. It was your Joe. No, not Joe. What am I talking about?
It's completely gone over my head who that fourth player was now. Oh well, anyway, like I said, it was going to be Team Z that will be advancing through the tournament, picking up a 2-0 in the series, 31-19 from Shawnee as well. Obviously went clutch with those 2 Annihilator kills, which we did see. He picked up that 2-piece, obviously releasing the pressure a little bit towards that mid-map area. But congratulations though to Joe, Shawnee, Rated and Zed underneath that Team Z. And one thing I want to point out as well, by the way, is it was actually Bids9 who won our previous tournament, and they've gone out in that top 16 area. Obviously, formidable opponents they came up against as well. But it looks like we might now have a brand new champions going into this one. This is definitely a team to watch out for. This Team Z, obviously pro players alongside them. But guys, we're going to get ready for our next game up on the live stream. Don't go anywhere. We will be back very shortly with our next match.
Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to the Esports Hub Top 5 Cool Juicy Clips for this week, brought to you by myself, Chris Stealth Curtis. So, let's get this underway. Coming in at number 5, we have an absolutely outrageous little sniper play here as he picks off one off of the wall hop, Jumps into Broken, sees one more ahead of him in Barn. Beautiful clip there, and oh, saucy little no scope to finish it. And at 4, we've got another S&D gameplay, but this time it's on Fringe. Using the Shiva there, looking out towards mid-map, sees one top red, pinpoint accuracy as he picks off the first, then the second, sees the third in top red. Unfortunately not going to be able to connect with it there, as he does see him hop outside window across to B bomb site. Pushes now towards tracks. I'm not entirely sure how he knows this, but he sees him on the tracks and uses that trusty RK5 to take him out. In at 3, we have another S&D gameplay clip coming in, and this time it's that RK5 taking off the first one. He quick scopes the second straight the way through B bomb site, just giving him no option there, and he sees the third pushing through and takes him out again with the RK5. In at 2, we have a Redwood S&D gameplay clip here. As we can see, he throws a stun grenade, not going to be able to connect with anything just there, as he does decide to hop up there, takes off the first player off of the bomb. Lovely, but he does take up a few hits of his own, so going to have to back away and regenerate that health a little bit before going back down. And oh, I love this wall run, absolutely love it, as he takes off the second off of Big Tree. Looking now towards the third and final player, does see him on the far end, decides to back off, and oh, sneaky little play there as he does look towards, oh no, it's clear. Where's this player? He looks down low and picks him off. Lovely play there just in time. And in at the number 1 spot for this week, we have a lovely little 1v4 clip coming in as he sees the first outside green, sees the second and picks off the third, all in one clip. Now looking for that final player, goes up top, not able to see anything just yet, pushes down towards kitchen, again nothing just yet. He is sprinting around these corners. This is a little bit of a ballsy play, not right for the most. He must have seen him outside, he does indeed, and takes him out with the RK5. Beautiful 1v4 clip there. Great plays all round this week in the top 5, and be sure to keep on watching. The disrespect there, unfortunate there. I didn't really like this disrespect, but with a 1v4, you kind of gotta do it. Anyway.
Everywhere I go, I get a standing ovation. Speaking of codes, my game got no imitation. It's innovation, we taking off like we in a spaceship. You are now experiencing greatness. 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 Yeah, you are now experiencing. Yeah, yeah. One, two, this the show shot. So high, keep it cracking like it's the dope spot. Fuck the evil corporation, it's Mr. Robot. Type music got him moving, now this is a show shot. To who's your constitution, get loose as a wet noodle. Got him dancing on the Lancey, as fancy as pet poodles. Got him downtown swinging like dance, a little fame. Send my enemies back to the essence from which you came. What inspired you? What is it you trying to do? Somebody told you you should probably give it up, they lied to you. Never aspire to the average or the mediocre. Let the greatness inside of you take over. Stockbroker or an activist, a soldier or a pacifist. Life a chain reaction, you a link or you a catalyst. Walk in the house of God, your house of cards starts collapsing. Fashion killer higher than Phyllis and Ask. Fuck titles, you provoking a reaction? Are you slow or are you fast, man? Are you smoking or you passing? You wishing or you hoping? Are you open for some action? As serious as heart attacks, man? Am I joking? Am I laughing? If you see me crack a smile and I got paid tonight, I'm with my air like some mama made a plate of rice. They say you need to dumb it down like that's a great advice. Nah, I'm way too busy showing them what greatness like. everywhere I go, I get a standing ovation. Speaking the coach, my game got no imitation. It's innovation. You are now experiencing greatness. 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 Yeah, you are now experiencing. I'm prepared for the greatness. Spit a flow that'll strip your soul bare and naked. I ain't scared to say shit. Yeah, God is the greatest, no joke. I have my foes going through spiritual anguish, cause I'm clearly his favorite. Never here for the fake show. Staring at these so-called gangsters. The OGs do nothing to play with. This is much more than entertainment. Still hit on my Marlon. Walk through the hood, so my name is my name.
S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. Hey, hey, no. Yes, yes. Look at me in the eye. Fashion smile. Turn on that charm. Sashay by. Hey, no. Feel nothing. Cold as ice. Act like tomorrow is when you die. No. Feel nothing. Roll the dice. Hit the diamonds out the sky. S'il vous plaît.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Esport Hub's interview series. My name is Cass Campbell and I will be your host tonight, and also I'll be interviewing one of the best NA casters that I have seen, and also Call of Duty analysts. He goes by the name of Rev, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of him, and it's exciting to have him on as well, because we have been interviewing players so far, but now we're going to take a look at a different side of Call of Duty. Anyway, how are you, John?
I'm doing great. Actually, today is my 23rd birthday. I guess for you guys, it's the next day ahead, but for me, it's still the 10th, so still in the midst of celebrating that. Thanks for having me on, by the way. I watch your casting all the time in the FPL. It's nice to formally meet you, and I can't wait to get this started.
Awesome, yeah, and happy birthday from the Esport Hub as well. So hopefully we can give you a good birthday present as well. But I want to kick it off with some questions, and I want to talk about Call of Duty Championships, obviously being one of the biggest events that we've had, especially for us from the EU as well. Seeing our EU teams be able to be successful out there for the first time was great for us guys. So let's talk about it a little bit more then. So obviously you were there casting it, you analysed it as well. But what I really want to ask you is, what was your event highlight from Call of Duty Championships?
I think it's the same as many other people, and that would be Cloud9 taking out Optic Gaming. I think that's a match that nobody really saw going in the way of Cloud9, but I mean, once again, Aches finds a way to take down the green wall, and one of the most exciting series of the year. And, you know, this is my first Call of Duty Championships as well. I haven't been able to make it to any of the others, so it was a very fond memory of me, and probably an event I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of people, we've even interviewed players as well, they've said the same thing. The Cloud9 Optic series must have been insane to watch. I mean, I don't know if you was casting at the time it was on, or you actually got the chance to watch it. Was you able to
I was
What's
at the
the
XP zone for the
Right.
entire event. So at the zone, we had like 4 monitors. So we were able to watch like every game as it was going on. But while that match was happening, like you saw the crowd slowly start to go away from the main stage, and everyone started to crowd around the Cloud9 Optic match. And I was even watching some of Momo's vlog from that match itself. And it must have been such an insane atmosphere to be around.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw the players getting hyped, obviously, on Cloud9. It must have been so exciting for them to be able to do that. But the other thing I want to go in and talk about as well is, so that's your like highlight moment of Call of Duty Championships. But I mean, apart from that one, is there anything else that really took you by surprise that you really didn't expect to happen at that event?
I mean, going in a different direction with this, I didn't really expect FaZe to place the way they did, especially with how they started the tournament. I mean, day one, they don't really drop the map. They're looking like one of the strongest teams there. And not only that, going into that, you heard so many things about them. You know, they were testing this. They were planning on bringing this out. They were going to ban this. And it seemed like that all the preparation they've done over the course of the year was finally going to pay off. But for some reason, it just didn't work out. Granted, I mean, you take a look at the teams they lost to in the winners bracket side, right? They lose to Team Envious, they lose to Splice, so that was a pretty tough draw. But, you know, as they say, in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. But in a different sense of kind of what took me off guard is FaZe's placement. Yeah,
definitely. Going into Call of Duty Championships post as well, obviously, we always enjoy roster mania as casters and analysis. It's amazing to sit back and just see these teams go at each other's throats and talk about how that player may not have done so well, so we're dropping you for this team and so on and so forth. And we saw Splice have a little bit of confusion with their roster. 1 second, Josh was dropped from the team, and then he was back on the team. And it really was surprising for us to see. But now a team has been formed over there that surely, and obviously you from the NA side, you watch the NA guys all the time, you must think to yourself, looking at this new roster, that this is a team from the EU that really can cause problems going into the next game. And obviously, like they did, like obviously the players from Black Ops 3 in this game did it. But I will call out the roster if you guys did miss it. The 2 players from Millennium, Madcat and Jerd, which obviously have been in the scene for such a long time. Jerd is that so aggressive, so machine gun player. And then Josh and Bance, obviously Bance, the dabbing king of Call of Duty Championships, really did shine. And obviously is able to get himself a good team. But I want to get your opinion on it though, Revan. You're great at analysis, and I'm going to chuck you with this question. So Madcat, Jerd, Bance and Josh in the same team, surely that looks like a threatening roster to you.
I mean, yeah, on paper, but I mean, there have been lineups in the past where they've been star-studded just like this one, and they've flat out failed. I mean, I feel like the change is pretty idiotic. I mean, I get that there were some issues going on, you know, between the Splice players, but this was really an experience that they could really bond over, and I feel like that they would have been able to get over the hurdles that they faced, you know, between each other and just move past that going into the next game. And it's always tough making a roster change going into a brand new game because nobody's played it. You don't really know how somebody like Jerd is going to perform, for example, in Infinite Warfare, just because, I mean, you haven't seen any competitive gameplay yet. You don't know how these players are going to, you know, transition over to a new game. So I feel like most of these changes are kind of rushed. Granted, I'm very excited to see how this team does. I mean, obviously these are all top caliber players in the European scene, and, you know, just talking to some of the other North American analysts at some of the other various events, you know, one question always gets asked to us is how come we haven't seen like a dominant EU squad yet that's been able to consistently come over to international events and consistently perform well. And I think all eyes are now going to be on this squad, this new lineup. They have a lot of international experience, especially Bancy had a breakout performance at COD XP, and over the course of Black Ops 3, the one thing, going back to what I just said, not the biggest of fans when it comes to making roster changes going to new games, but I mean, I guess this is a roster that they might just be too good to fail, but I'm excited to see how they do in the upcoming game.
Yeah, and touching on that, I mean, Call of Duty has always been a thing where chemistry is the key to success. So trying to keep a team for a long period of time. You take like Optic, for example. Obviously, I'm going to go into and talk about their champs' performance, but Optic have been together for such a long time now. Rarely make drastic roster changes, and that proves in their local events they're able to win quite a few events throughout the year. I know COD XP wasn't one that they would want to forget, let's be honest, but they did do quite well throughout the year as well. It wasn't like they were one of the worst teams from NA, but I think it comes down to obviously high caliber players like Scump and Crimsix, but chemistry is such a key success in Call of Duty, and if you can keep a team together from one game going into the other, surely that should help you when you progress through into Infinite Warfare, like you touched on as well. But while we are on the topic of Optic, and I know the Green Wall fans that do tune into the Esports Hub probably going to put their fingers in their ears at this point because they're sick of hearing Optic choking champs, but I have to get your opinion on it, John. Was it something that you really reckoned that they were going to do again? Did you see, oh yeah, Optic, they're going to go into this one, they're going to get 7 players again, they're just not feeling themselves, or were you on the same bandwagon as a lot of people in the community that thought this is Optic's time?
I mean, I predicted them to win the event.
There you go.
I had them losing in the winner bracket portion of the event and then coming back kind of as a wake-up call and just making a big run through the losers bracket. But I think one thing that really hurt them throughout the year was the ban and protect system. I felt like for the most part, what they brought to the table was very stagnant. And there were times throughout the year where, when I was casting or doing analysis, I'd be able to predict every single thing that they would do and every single thing that would happen. And I get, they're trying to make the game as consistent as possible. But when you're going to the biggest event of the year, you got to figure somebody's going to do something different. And one match I'm going to reference back to is when they faced off against 100 Thieves. I mean, you saw how when 100 Thieves decided to ban out stuff like the Optic sites and they want to keep these things in the game, it really threw Optic off their game. And you kind of figured that one team would just be those guys, right, to bring some of these things out. And, I didn't get a chance to see how the bans and protects played out in the series that they played just because we didn't have that information available to us. But I got to figure somebody had to have done something, and it's very tough for them to prepare for something like that. I mean, yeah, it sucks, but you look at every major tournament that happens across all esports, there's always that one team that makes a run. There's always that one team that causes an upset. Just so happens that this year at COD XP, it was Cloud9 upsetting Optic.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I want to touch upon as well is, I mean, it's great that Optic have such great fan support. They're so big on social media and YouTube. But it also seems to me that these little teams like Cloud9, who are not necessarily showing their gameplay so much, can just take advantage of Optic, can view all their VODs, view their streams, see what they play with. And then when it goes into the biggest event of the year, even though Crimsix stopped Twitch and Scump barely streamed, it's just not enough because you know how they play, you've seen how they play, and obviously when you play against them as well, you can pick up things as well. But Cloud9 kind of reminded me a little bit like that TR roster we saw placing at second at Champs. Able to come out of nowhere, nobody really knows what they're going to do. But Aches is the man, he's always at the top dog position for his team. And when he's going up against players like Crimsix, his old teammates, I mean, if it was FaZe, I guess he would probably have done the same thing as well, going up against Clayster. He just loves to rub the salt in the wounds a little bit more when he plays against his ex-teammates, and I'm pretty sure it would have upset Crimsix just that little bit more that it was Aches that was going to give him the finishing blow at Call of Duty Championships. But want to move on anyway into, let's say, for example, Revan, that you were an Optic shoe, so you're an Optic player or you're an Optic manager like Hex maybe. I mean, are you going to look to build a team? Would you say that we try so hard just to win Call of Duty Championships in Infinite Warfare going into the biggest event? Or would you be a team that focuses on all the little events and just tries to make it to COD Champs? I mean, where is it you're seeing it? Is this the time where Optic now need to focus on that one goal and get what they've been wanting forever?
That's a pretty tough question to answer because I think the guys on Optic Gaming, I think they just want to win everything. So I'm going to say that for Optic Gaming, if I was management, I would still focus on each event, right? I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket and be like, okay, this is the year, this is where you're going to win champs, because then you're just adding that extra amount of pressure, right? You already have a lot from your entire fan base, from social media. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like being an Optic Gaming player, losing like one map at a tournament, and then just looking through your Twitter mentions. I mean, it's just got to be a bit overwhelming at times, but still, you want to approach kind of each event the same, right? Even though COD XP is held on a different pedestal and there's a lot more on the line, you don't necessarily want to change up that repetition, that preparation that you've built up throughout the year and just kind of ramp up. And just adding to something you brought up before this question, I mean, you look at how they performed, right, at the beginning stages of the year. Without a doubt, the #1 team. What's the motivation to practice when there was clearly a skill gap between you and the rest of the teams, right? It seems at that point, whenever you're going in and scrimming and going through the repetitions, you're just really helping out the other teams and helping them catch up. And, their play really didn't develop like too much in the respawn game modes over the years. So everybody, like, you could go onto the YouTube videos, as you're saying, and be like, okay, Scump goes here, Formal likes to go here. If we are able to shut down this player, it opens up a lane and we can really capitalize off that. But going back to the question here, still, if you're Optic Gaming, obviously you want to put a lot of focus over towards, the big event at the end of the year, but you still want to get consistent wins and you want to get those tournament wins. So I still think you try to focus on winning let's say there are 10 tournaments in the year. If you lose one, you win 9 out of 10. I still think that's a pretty good year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it can equate up to the amount that COD Champs would be for winning just the one event. Obviously, there was 9 events. You've got to please the fans as Optic Gaming, because that's what they're all about. It's all about the fan support, the Green Wall, the power of the Green Tribe. But to be honest with you, I just started to debate every single time Call of Duty Champs comes around and I see Optic not make it. I start to think to myself, will I ever in my lifetime of esports see Scump with a ring on his finger? It's crazy. You've got a player that throughout every single Call of Duty has been framed to be literally one of the best players in the whole of the scene, and he's still this far away from grabbing that ring, and it just must be so annoying for Scum. Every single time he goes back home from champs and he thinks to himself, one more year, I'm going to make it. But in his eyes, I'm pretty sure eventually he'll be able to make it. But I want to go on to another question, and I want to ask, because obviously we talked about how you're a good analysis and you break down for casting and stuff. So let's say for you then, so from the ANZ region, from the EU region, and the NA region, if you could make a dream team of Call of Duty, who would be your 4 players to choose?
So do I have to like pick players like
one you can
from
pick
Europe?
4 players from NA or 4 players from EU. You've just got the whole regions to choose from, but you can make a dream team of what you want.
Okay, well, I don't want to be too biased, so I will pick some international players for this. I think without a doubt, you're going to want that explosive player like Scum on your team, but you're also going to want somebody who could complement him and bring something else to the table. So for this, I'm also going to pick up Havoc, who's currently on Complexity. For my reasoning for picking Havoc here is, one, he could complement Scum's fast-paced, aggressive gameplay. They could play off each other in respawn game modes. Plus, he's an absolute stud in Search and Destroy, and he could bring the sniper rifle to the team. From Europe, I think for me, it might be a toss-up between Jerd and Bance. I think right now I would go after Bance, just because, one, you get that extra threat, and then, of course, all these players, they could swap between the AR or SMG. So right there, you have your deadly trio. Now we need that 4th AR player, and I guess I kind of trapped myself here. I have to go over to the ANZ region, and I think I might go after Denz for this one. I feel like Denz is a very solid assault rifle player, and I think he could drop kills and just complement the other players well. I think that would be my dream team of 4 players if I also had to pick one from Europe and one from ANZ.
Yeah, that sounds like a dominating roster. It would be interesting if that was ever going to be a roster in the future, but I think it would be very difficult to see that one align with itself. But I'm going to talk over now and go over to the questions, because we did tweet out before we got this interview started with you, Revan. We asked the community if they were going to have anything to say or any questions to ask yourself. So we'll kick it off with one from a guy called Typical Nerd. Now, that might be a name you might remember. Yeah. He broke his way into the scene. You saw him obviously alongside Scraps and that lot, but then Scraps pulled away and went over towards that Epsilon team. So hopefully Typical Nerd can make that breakthrough back into Infinite Warfare again. But his question for you anyway, Revan, is what is your take on specialists in Black Ops 3, in particular kinetic armor? Now, I don't know whether Typical Nerd has a little bit of a sore spot for kinetic armor, because he's asked you particularly what you think of kinetic armor, but yeah, what are your input and let's say your opinion on specialists in Black Ops 3?
I think certainly at times they can be gimmicky, and we've seen plays where people are only able to make them because they have these specialists available. But you got to keep in mind that they do add a very exciting part to the game. I mean, you always know that when somebody brings out something like a Tempest or activates something like a kinetic armor, a big play is bound to happen. I think there's certainly things we could do to, maybe tune and tweak them a little bit to make them a little bit more competitive. I really like the idea that Sensor brought out at the very beginning of the game, whereas, everybody starts out with their specialist once and you only have one chance to use it. I feel like that would certainly add a lot. I think the one thing I hate most about the specialists is that you don't necessarily earn all of your meter, right? It kind of builds up over time. I think for something as impactful as a specialist, you really should earn your whole way to that specialist meter. And I mean, a lot of people like to refer them as superpowers and such. I think one of the other things I hate most is something like a heat wave is like an instant reaction, right? You pop your triggers or your bumpers, and then immediately it kind of pops, and you can't really react and kind of adjust to what's coming at you. But we've certainly also seen times over the years where somebody would bring out like a Tempest and get absolutely nothing done, or pop an active camo, nothing comes from it. I think we've seen a good balance of the playmaking as well as the failed plays from the specialists, and I think it certainly does have a place in competitive Call of Duty, but it's going to be up to developers to tweak and tune to kind of match, the strength of the specialists to the pace of competitive gameplay and what we need. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we've seen one of the things that Call of Duty fans around the world live for is those clutch moments, those clutch S&Ds, and not just S&D, but in hardpoint, 249 and one team needs 1 point and a heat wave comes in and they're able to take it 250 to 249. It really does have that hype factor to Call of Duty, which we love from the days of Black Ops 2 and stuff like that. But also I want to go over to another question now. So we're going to go back to the community. We've had a question from Effect JD. And he has asked, what feature of rules would you like to see in competitive Call of Duty? What feature are rules? So if there's any features or rules that you would like to put in competitive Call of Duty, what would they be?
Can you try to reword that? I'm not sure I understand the question.
For example, if we were to go into, we could talk about all game modes and stuff as well. So maybe we could talk Blitz, for example, on Call of Duty Ghosts. So would you say that you prefer Blitz to uplink or uplink to Blitz, or would you rather?
I definitely prefer uplink over Blitz, but if there's maybe like one game mode I would add into the rule set, I've always liked to see how something like an oddball type of game mode would play out in competitive play. And my reasoning behind that is like there's always a moving objective, and there's always going to be a team on the attack, right? So that forces action to happen. So there's never really going to be a dull moment. And look, you take a look at the maps. You know, even in Black Ops 3, there's always going to be like one place on the map where a team is going to want to set up, but maybe they can't get to that part. So teams are going to have to adjust and figure out, you know, where they want to set up on different parts of the map. And I feel like that could be definitely like an interesting game mode to watch. No idea how it would play out for Call of Duty. Obviously, we've seen it in other game modes like Halo, for example, but I've always liked modes in Call of Duty that have like that moving neutral objective. So that's why I would go with something like an oddball type.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to ask a question from myself here as well, which is basically, what is if you could pick, you know, you've been casting for a while, but if you could pick the best event that you've ever casted, and what would be the reason behind that?
So the best event I've ever casted, I think I would go with my very first one. It was MLG Dallas 2013 for Black Ops 2. It was the start of the run for the Farico Impact Squad. And, at the time, you know, I was good friends with Killa and Parasite, so of course Karma as well, one of my old teammates. Seeing those guys win was absolutely amazing. Plus, it was my first time. I think I casted really well, and one of the most memorable moments of my casting career happened at that event. It was the CTF raid between Curse and VVV. Clutch Lightning Strike. MLG actually tweeted out like a throwback clip of that not too long ago, but that event for me was just filled with so many memorable moments. I mean, Clayster also, his resurgence onto the scene in that game, bringing the ponytail onto the main stage. I think I would go with that Dallas event.
Awesome. Let's break it down then to our final question. We're going to start to sign this one off, Revan, but we're going to play a little game called the Word Association game. It's a little bit of fun that we have here from the Esports Hub. We've been having it with the interview series we've been continuing so far. And basically the Word Association game, for any guys that are new to it, you may have played it when you was a kid in school. I know a lot of teachers used this one before, but basically I'm going to give Revan a word. So for example, I may give him the word hot, and he will tell me the first word that pops into his head. And now most of the time we've had cold, but you never know, Revan might pull something out of the bands, and you might just say something that we don't expect. But anyway, we're going to start off normal, and then we're going to get into the esports scene. So are you ready, Revan?
I think so.
All right, then. Starting off with hot.
Cold.
Road.
Hog.
Car.
Tire.
Mr. X.
Hair.
Maven.
Dumb.
CWL.
COD.
Esports.
COD.
E-girls.
Me.
Courage.
Funny.
Okay, then there you go, guys. There you go. There was a pretty funny answer then. I didn't expect the E-girls me, but I like that answer. It's one we've had, different one than we've had normally so far. But guys, I have been Cass Campbell for you, the host for tonight, and joining alongside me has been Revan. So guys, if you don't follow him on Twitter already, make sure you go and follow him. We'll make sure we put his Twitter in the
make sure you follow these guys on Twitter too. Let's make sure we grow them as well.
Thank you very much, Revan. Yeah, guys, make sure you give us a follow as well. We're trying to do everything we can for the esports scene. We've always been that scene that's trying to build up the amateurs to the professionals and giving them an opportunity. So we have a few tournaments coming out as well. Monday, the 17th, we're going to have a Call of Duty tournament out as well. We'll be casted and live streamed. And also we're going to hopefully have some guest casters alongside Paradox and Jen if they're available. We had them on previously. So guys, make sure you follow there to sign up for that one as well. But that's going to be it for the interview today. Thank you very much, Revan, for coming on. And
thank you very much for having me.
And I wish you the best of luck going into Infinite Warfare. I'm sure you'll kill it alongside the rascals that are Maven, Mr. X, and Courage. I'm pretty sure it's so exciting working along there, and it seems to be a humorous team you've got over there. But anyway, guys, it's been, thank you very much for tuning in. And also, make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, because we're going to make sure that we post as well and as often as we possibly can. So, guys, my name has been Cass Campbell, joined alongside Revan. It's been a very good interview. Thank you very much for tuning in. Peace out.
Fine young thing, do your frozen ground, and in the flashing, my world comes crashing down. I'm left in nowhere, no place to hide, out in the open, like ashes in the sky. I quit the illusion. I'm moving I'm moving I let the flames light up the future, making empires of sound. And she when she's become laughter, you burn the bridges to build the city. I let the flames light up the future, making empires of sound. And she when she's become laughter, you burn the bridges to build the city. Jump! I let the flames light up the future, making empires of sound. And she when she's become laughter.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Esports Hub. This is a quarter-final match we have for you guys. We're sticking on board with that Team Z. If you guys did catch that first map that we just had on, or that first series I should say, we did see Team Z taking out another team of pro players. But we're going up against some of the best top amateurs. I would like to class them in the top amateur scene, or like under 18 up-and-coming players. It's going to be Insight God, Detain, Johnny W, and Halley COD. But obviously that Z team, if you guys did miss that first series, is Z, Shawnee, Joe, and Rated. Obviously Joe and Rated from that Splice team we saw at Champs. Final Protector is on its way, but before I break it down though, I want to introduce a co-caster that I am going to be casting with tonight. It's no longer John, it is one I'm pretty sure you guys know. It's Paradox. How are you, Quentin?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me on once again. And, you know, I love looking at some of the things going on over in Europe as far as Call of Duty is concerned. And we're going to start things here. This is another best-of-3 series. Reach hardpoint is where this one will go down. And we see the Man of War being taken out by Johnny W. Of course, it's one of the more aggressive ARs you can use here in Black Ops 3. Not surprised to see that taken off the board.
Yeah, not surprised seeing that one go either, especially online Call of Duty. You see it killing just 3 bullets. It normally can slay through people quite fast, but Overclock going to go as well. Flashbang and concussions will disappear. No surprise seeing those ones go. No surprise seeing the HD card go either. Pretty much those first 4 bans are what you'd expect to see. And I guess you could kind of say as well, the Semtex and the Frag are normally ones that are contacted by those aggressive players. They normally tend to get rid of those so they can push those hills a little bit easier. But the final ban is probably the most interesting one we would talk about, Quentin. It's going to be a heatwave ban. An interesting specialist to be removed. Obviously, the camo is there to be used, and overdrive as well. But wonder why you're specifically seeing heatwave be removed.
So when you think of this, like, you think so far throughout all of Black Ops 3, sort of, this is like part of the sort of grand send-off here, right? As a lot of us have been looking at the future of Call of Duty within the past few days, but sort of going back to the heat wave, it's in that sort of Power 3, and it has been a staple of the meta throughout the entire life cycle of this game. And when we look at a map like Reach, and especially a game like Hardpoint, it can make a huge difference. I'm especially thinking of hills 1, 2, and I believe 4. So you're thinking of the middle box, you're thinking of back cages, and then you're thinking of the greenhouse. When you sort of go for an intro push, especially coming around the second rotation on that middle box, it's such a close quarters area for being able to use that heat wave. You have 2 players stacked up inside the hill. That's an easy 2-piece down. Gives your team a little bit more map control and time inside the hill. We see the same thing over in the cages. And then when we see sort of in the greenhouse area, a lot of teams, although there are 3 points of entry, can have a little bit of trouble trying to go for a push inside of that hill. Having a heat wave there is vital.
Yeah, definitely. And with that heatwave being out, let's have a look at what the specialists these two teams did go ahead with. Zed's going to go with that Psychosis. Shawnee with the kinetic armor. Joe with active camo and rated. We saw him in the first series using that Tempest to good a use. He's going to be putting it to work and now in the breach hardpoint as well. And over on the right hand side, Vitality Storm is the team name. Insight going to go with the Tempest. Detain with kinetic armor. Johnny W with active camo. And Harley COD with Psychosis. So it's going to be a mirror matchup between these two. But while we wait for this game to kick off, I'm going to go to a map overview of Breach. For any of you guys that haven't paid enough attention to Call of Duty throughout this one, here is Breach for you guys. There you go, guys. That was your map overview of Breach Hardpoint. A very close quarter map, as you can tell. And it's going to be a very exciting one as well. These are two sets, of very good players. Obviously, the pro players that we know about, and obviously you will know about as well yourself, Paradox, Rated, and Joe. I'm sure their names you remember, and also Zed as well, obviously at Call of Duty Championship. So expect them to have good performances. We're going up against the up-and-coming from the Call of Duty EU scene. It is obviously Johnny, Holly, and Detain, and also Insight. But kicking this one off, it's going to go towards that mid-hill, which we know is so closely contested, and straight away, the ARs are going to be the dominant on the kill feed.
And then we have to pay attention to the way the subs are going to be able to move around and get inside. Now, look at this. Vitality Storm had a little bit of control early on. That's already been taken away by Team Zed. Hallie's trying to stay alive here as he's worked his way over towards the Palace Bridge. But with so much pressure being put on by this team so far, he needs to make sure he can stay alive. Unfortunately, he does go down. So there's some more control that goes over towards Team Zed. I'm going to bring your attention over to the mini-maps to try and get that full screen right now. Look at the position from Team Zed. They have two players playing inside the middle box. They have one more over there for support. And they started to push out towards that top AC over by sort of this construction sort of palace area as you're trying to move over and get the rotation over towards that second hill. That's where Vitality Storm's starting to drop back to with about 10 seconds left in this hill.
Yeah, one thing you definitely don't see on this hill at all is it being quite dominated by one team, but Zed team are going to come out strong. 37 to 14 rotations are now coming in, and you can see those arrows are rotated over. It's going to be inside the hill. Picks up that beautiful shot there with the M8. And those players are now beginning to spawn out towards that construction site. So it will be Team Zed here that are actually being able to Team Vitality Storm are being able to hold down those rotations, picking up the kills with inside the hill as well. But there's one player that's managed to sneak around the back. That's going to be Joe. Finds 2 kills. We're not going to find a third. Johnny stays alive, but not long enough though, because those players now are spawning out towards that palace area as those players are beginning to push through. Rated, looking to see if he can pick up a kill. We'll have another big kill towards his back right to deal with, and he does it so nicely as well. Takes down Hallie, but Detain and Insight are there to even up the numbers again. And Insight has been in this hill for quite a while now. As you can see, 50 to 37 is the score.
The patience from Rated really plays off in that situation. He was able to pick up 2 with the HVK. Of course, the Man of War was taken out, but the HVK comes out so much in European play throughout the entire game, and then we saw a lot of North American teams pick it up too. But what that ends up doing alleviates some of the pressure there. They're able to collapse on the hill and take out the final few seconds. They force Vitality Storm early rotation once again, but this time, Team Zed will be ready. Hopping on with Zed, the namesake here. Picked up 1, activates the Psychosis, doesn't spot 1 towards the left side. Goes down, there's a huge play coming out on the side of Vitality Storm, able to hold off the first push. Team Zed have to regroup and start again.
Yeah, Vitality Storm definitely been able to pick up a lot of kills here as well. Filled the kill feed, but just as I say that, kind of a little bit of caster's luck there. They're actually all going to drop. and those players from Zed's team are going to be able to slide in with high submachine gun pressure, spawning those out towards that mid-map and palace areas. They're going to go for a 2-2 split push. Mid-map is going to be the main area they push from. Psychosis is popped from Halley. He's able to distract long enough, though. Will take down Shawnee in the process as well. 2 players do drop, and that's a fantastically timed push coming in from Vitality Storm there. It's all going to be down to Joe to see if he can stay alive long enough while he waits for his teammates to provide them some backup. And he actually does it so well as well. He stays alive long enough there. His teammates are able to push over, and they're able to pick up all the kills and that scrap time as well. Rotations will come in though. Zed knows that he had to rotate it, and he has done it as well. His teammates will be getting those beneficial spawns, and now the construction push will be coming in from this team of Vitality Storm. They need to wait for each other here to be able to push through as a squad and break this hill. But Zed will be picking up that first initial kill, and once again, 3 players drop.
Oh, Zed gonna try and pick up the 3rd one, able to connect, and there's 3 in a row, 11 and 7 so far. Vitality Storm have to come back. They're sending 1 through the middle of the map. He's cut down. They're gonna have all 3 converging on the greenhouse here in just a second. And once again, Zed's gonna play this one very patiently. There's 4, and there we go. Finally, you want to push in pairs, especially around that pillar. There's so many times where a player will not be able to pick up both of those. There's one situation right there, but Vitality Storm need to hold on to this. They have 1 player inside, that's Johnny W, who's on a 4 streak of his own. But then they have the players spawn up around, able to get a little bit more control, but they need to hold off the push that comes in from Team Zed. Every time it seems like when we get into these battles inside of the hill, Vitality Storm come off on the losing side, and that's exactly what we saw once again.
But that late push coming in from Team Z there ended up actually being extremely beneficial for Vitality Storm. They were able to get these perfect spawns as well. But now those players will begin to push through, though. That first kill going to come in from Zed, taking out Johnny, who was trying to hold down that hill. But there's 1 player going to be AC Stairs, and a 2-piece as well going to come in with that Tempest from inside. Those players are spawning out still. Zed, we've seen him hold a hill once by himself already. He's going to try it again, and there's another kill. Johnny going with an interesting score streak on hardpoint. It will be the dart. 3 players do drop again, and this dart is still patrolling around this top AC area. Eventually will get crashed into the wall there. Johnny will have a player literally to the left-hand side of him here on that low wall, and does spot him, will pick up the kill, and also does have that lightning strike to use as well. He's going to set that ping off and actually call it in as well. Joe will be flying into the hill, just take down the case. Found a player. Johnny picks up a 2-piece of his own as well. Johnny really starting to prove that he's having quite a good game here. 15 of 14 was drop. Wasn't a 3 kill streak though. With 20 seconds remaining, it's going to rotate back towards that mid area, and even though it seems to be Paradox that we've seen quite a lot of hill pressure and good rotations from Vitality Storm, it is Zed that's actually in the lead.
It's another sort of situation like how we were able to see FaZe Clan throughout sort of the entire season, right? They were able to rotate early, they did everything right on paper, but when it comes down to some of those first gunfights inside of the hills where they will lose, so although you're rotating properly, you're winning some gunfights here and there, you're not getting the time in the hill, and at the end of the day, that's what wins you the game. Now we sort of see them in a similar situation. Now they've sort of fought off that first wave of Zed players, similar to how they did in Palace, but we need to see if they can hold off the push. Once again, we're going to hop on board with Detainables. He was the furthest one pushed up, so the point player, if you will, he ends up going down. So now a lot of that pressure you think is going to come over towards Johnny, and the split push is going to come in perfectly. Zed take control of the middle box.
Yeah, good communications there between the team as they were able to break through into that hill. 25 seconds remain in this one. They're looking to try and hold as much resistance as they can. It will put them on that 160, 170 area, going over towards that construction side. Now you can begin to see Detain. Maybe going to go down this low wall and try to rotate. Looks like he will actually try to push for this scrap time. Maybe try to pick up that 15 seconds. Does pick up the kill though. But now, as I said, though, it's only scrap time, and those spawns are not in the favour of Vitality Storm at all. And they're beginning to set up over on your left-hand side of the map there. Joe going to be the guy in position inside hill with that M8. And they're waiting for the push to begin. It's going to come around that back right-hand side as Johnny and his team are going to try and get spawned. Active camo could be used very perfectly here as well. So they'll be able to pick up the first kill. Will opt to pop the active camo. Maybe didn't need to use it as much there though, because his teammate did break the hill and pick up a kill. Will now get aggressive with the remaining camo time he did have, and now will look to hold these players back over towards this right-hand side of construction. Johnny going to pick up one, trying to find a second, but not going to happen though. Zed will pick him up. And a fantastic break though there from them, to be honest with you, Paradox. They didn't necessarily get the spawns. They went and chased that scrap time, were able to slide in as a team, use specialists effectively, and now they've actually taken themselves into a lead.
And that's what you want to see from them throughout the rest of this game, number one, and the rest of this series, right? This is a team that, of course, can hold up against a team like Zed with some of the talent on this team. They just need to make sure they're playing their game, and that's exactly what we see right now. The kill feed lighting up once again in favor of Vitality Storm, and you see how far away the players for Zed are spawning up. They're going to start to put more pressure. Johnny's been such a key part of this team the whole time, moves towards the middle of the map, locks the easy shots down with the AR, and will be sort of the point player as we move over towards the next hill. He's going to try and stay alive here in the middle of the map, has one more to try and deal with, slides away, turns around, picks it up, and that gives him a dart.
I tell you what, Johnny is absolutely not missing at the minute. It doesn't matter if it's an M8 or a submachine gun in his hand. He is applying so much pressure to the middle of the hill. He's going to go for a dart again, trying to see if he can break in. Cause as much confusion for this other team as he possibly can. Not going to be using flat jacket though. There's another two. Johnny picks those two players up. Now his teammates can begin to push through. They're not going to win that final gunfight though. Shawnee will stay alive long enough. Has one player behind him, picks him up. Johnny's going to try and come through mid-map. Shawnee just completely snaps on that player there and is able to take him down. There's 3 for Shawnee, as now he's beginning to heat up himself as well. And to be honest with you, Paradox, in my eyes, this is a really close game, and it looks like it could be a fantastic series between these two teams.
Johnny's reign of terror ends, and Zed will take this opportunity to strike. Not only are they going to be able to pick up the final few seconds here, they're going to be the first team on the rotation. Look at the position Joe is already in. He's worked his way towards the top greenhouse. There are 2 players below him, but he doesn't know it yet. But good thing for him, he does have a teammate holding these spawns down, does have the kinetic armor as well as the dart, and now with that kill fully streaked out, turns, gets the second one. These spawns will still be in control by Team Zed.
Like you said, those full streaks are going to come in. Shawnee's going to spot every single player. They all run into the room to try and hide it. They're actually going to stay alive quite well there. They're able to dodge that Hellstorm missile, but now all those players, obviously that is enough intel for them to all be called out. And even though he knows exactly where they are, Johnny and Insight come together to pick up those kills and spawn those players out. Fantastic play from them. However, Zed now 222 to 190. Vitality Storm trying to hold the rest of this time. They need to hold it. If this goes in favor of Team Zed, they will be able to close it out right here, right now. Hallie going to be inside the hill. Has a kinetic armor player to deal with. Not going to be able to pick that kill up though, as Zed does pick up the kill on Hallie. Races will also make his way through as well. And like I said, they will be able to close it out very, very soon, or at least make it very close. Races will pick up a kill though, and now rotations will actually come in. They realize they cannot close it out just here, but you can also see Vitality Storm are waiting and ready. Detain has a kinetic armor to use as well. Johnny going to try to push out that right hand side streaks. Not going to be effective on a hill like this though. But take a look at your minimap. Johnny has spawned out. These players need to stay alive now, or they're going to lose spawns and possibly lose the game.
This is a situation where Vitality Storm have the upper hand when it comes to a lot of the utility, but with them wasting the active camo, they waste the kinetic armor as well. Both of those now off the board. Not to mention they're 5 seconds away from losing game 1. This is a scary situation for them to be in against Team Zed. Speaking of which, the team's namesake's going to slide, takes out Hallie, and that's going to be the end of game number 1, 250 to 194, your final score.
Yeah, there you go, guys. You heard it right there, 250 to 194. It was that rotation from Glass. They were able to break it when they needed to. 30 seconds could have gone in favour of Vitality Storm, but not going to happen. No, Rated came through quite clutch there. Was able to pick up a few kills inside Glass, therefore hold the remaining time of that scrap time. Even though Vitality Storm did rotate, and like you said, had those specialists to use as well, and also the streaks were not going to affect him at all with it being inside. But it's just not enough from that slaying power from Team Zed. The pro players' knowledge and the patience to push as a team came through there. That is going to be map number 1, guys. This is the best of 3, remember, as well. So this next map could close it all out. Just want to have a look really quickly what it is for you. It's going to be Infection Uplink will be the next map. So it's an open AR map, but you do see those submachine gun players quite dominant throughout that one as well. Maybe that one submachine gun player gets behind and causes a bit of confusion on that map. Will be interesting to see. But guys, don't go anywhere. This is a hot series at the minute. Johnny's not missing. Shawnee's returning the favour. Guys, it's 1-0 to Team Zed. And this one is not over yet.
You burn the bridges.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Esports Hub. We are going into map number 2 of this series. If you guys did just miss it, map number 1 was very, very close. Came right down to the wire, 252. I think they were just about to make the 200-point mark. But it is going to be Infection uplink now. I'm joined alongside Paradox. We're going to go into ban and protect and kick this one off straight away for you guys. Straight away, it's going to be Overclock ban, and then following that, it's going to be the Overdrive ban.
So these are two, one a perk, one a specialist ability that have really just gone back and forth just every single time. When you think of a game mode like Uplink and Capture the Flag, normally in a best of 5, those are your 3 and 4, your swing game modes. If you will say Overdrive out, probably about 90, probably 95% of the time, right? Overclock worked its way in a bit later. You want to cut down on the availability of those specialist abilities and weapons. And with the Man of War, we saw that taken out in game number 1 as well. Not surprised to see that go here. Concussion and Flash go after some of the tacticals here because those can slow down or push easily when it comes to uplink.
Yeah, definitely. Like, another specialist going to go as well there. So it's going to be active camo that disappears. So normally we see the Overdrive and the active camo. Normally the most common specialists we see disappear from. Uplink HC car will go as well. There's probably seeing that one go. And interesting to see what the final ban's going to be. Obviously we were a little bit shocked by the Heatwave ban we saw previously, but it's going to be down to Insight to ban the final one. It's going to be the Shiva ban. So I would say it's pretty much the most common ban and protect we could have got for Uplink. But I want to take a look at what it is on these two teams that we saw from map number 1. I think it's great to say from Vitality Storm, we have to highlight Johnny W with the submachine gun and the AR. He showed his versatility throughout that one. And going into Infection Uplink, the main play that you see players play is 3 ARs and 1 submachine gun. And I would expect to see Johnny maybe either pull the submachine gun out and see if he can play the aggressiveness he was playing within that first hardpoint, try to get in the enemy base, cause some confusion for them. But over on Team Z, they might go for the same way, or they might try 2 ARs, 2 subs. I know that this Team Z, though, these pro players are so aggressive with the submachine guns. They showed it us in Series 1 that we showed on the live stream earlier. They had 3 subs on Stronghold hardpoint and was able to win it. So maybe they might try something a little bit different. But it is specialist draft upon us right now. I'm going to break that down really quickly for you. It's going to be Shawnee with the Annihilator, Zed with Kinetic Armor, Joe with Heatwave, and the Rate is going to take that Tempest. We've seen him take it throughout both the series we've had on today. Detain going to go with Kinetic Armor, Johnny with Psychosis, Halley with the Heatwave, and Insights with the Tempest. So it's going to be a 2-weapon specialist choice from Zed's team. Shawnee going to go with that Annihilator over the Psychosis choice, which Johnny W has gone for. Both fantastic specialists. Obviously, one being a weapon base. Maybe Shawnee looking to hold down some lanes of sights with that one. But Johnny going to try and possibly put some points on the board for his team, distract him with the Psychosis, and also using it as that meat shield, which we talk about so much. But guys, we're going to go to a map overview of Infection before we get this one started. So guys, tune into this one to see where these players will begin to push. There you go, guys. That was your map overview of the map Infection. But it is Uplink the game mode. And I want to jump on board with Vitality Storm's team. I want to jump on board with an individual. It's going to be Johnny. I'm jumping on board with Paradox. Let's kick this one off.
So, of course, to start this one out, Johnny does have the HVK. This is a 4 AR sort of opening strat on the side of Vitality Storm. Not surprised to see this at all. Goes straight for this power position, which I really like, but you need him to be sort of the aggressor in that situation. Early drone was grabbed, advanced a couple of yards, and then stopped. So there's just going to be a little bit of a reset on the movement from that drone. Great play by Vitality Storm. That's attainables. Goes, grabs it, just gets it out of the way. And right now, we're just going to see both of these teams sort of fight for control. But looks like Vitality Storm might opt to go for the full rotation. If you look, Johnny is set up to sort of watch anyone for Zed if they're trying to come past him, but it's really going to come down to that huge gunfight that Inside God just won against Show.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a possible 1-point throw over the top here. There are 2 players to deal with, one on their nasty Heglish as well, but Inside's just going to actually rip Rated right on the tank Heglish there. Maybe a 1-point throw could go through here. The 1 more player to deal with at the back, and that is such perfect patience from the teammates there. Like I was saying, force that 1-point throw, but in this situation, they're so smart to just wait up for his teammates to pick up some kills, and they're able to get a 2-point throw from it instead. But now you've got to think the positioning. They're all in the enemy base. Hallie gets a very important kill on Rated there. Will actually be able to trip the ball up. That is a fantastic play, but it will fall straight into the hands of Joe, who will actually manually pass it towards his teammate there, who was able to pick up that initial kill. And obviously, this is the best of 3 guys, like I said. So if Zed are able to win this one, they will win the series 2-0. And that will be it for this one. But I'm pretty sure Vitality Storm are wanting to take this one to that evac search and destroy, which is map number 3. Ball coming down in this mid-map area now, and take a look at the setup here. It's going to be Johnny perfectly patiently waiting again for this push to come through. He's going to have a lot of players to deal with here. Not going to pick that one up though. Shawnee will take him down, and now that graveyard push will come through. It could be a 1-point throw thrown over the top here. They might try to force the 2. He does have a lead blocker in Joe in front of him as well, who does fly out. Not going to be able to pick up the kill, but just not distract enough either. Johnny comes through with a big 2-piece. We've been talking about him being able to pick up numerous amounts of important kills. The ball's still down in a difficult area though. Detain finally will deal with that pressure, and now we'll be able to possibly rotate out towards the left-hand side again.
As teamwork is concerned, this is sort of the best teamwork we've seen out of Vitality Storm in the first few minutes of this game number 2, then about the first half of game number 1. I'm not saying that to be a downer. I'm really just impressed at how they've been able to turn things around at the end of game 1 and going into this one. They're going to go for the push down the Snow Street once again. Unfortunately, Detainables end up getting a team kill, makes up for that one, but the satellite possession has dropped, not going in their favor. Detainables trying to stay alive, will not be able to do it. He's shut down by Rated on the street. There's a 3-man push coming straight down for Team Zed. Hallie's going to try and stop it, run straight into the gun of Zed.
Yeah, that kill mid-map was so important there. Rated's going to have the ball in hand now. Wait to see if his lead blockers could possibly pick up a few kills here and see if they can allow a push to come up the right-hand side. But not going to happen though. Johnny comes through with another 2-piece again. Shawnee not going to be close enough to anything here to be able to stop this ball. It does get 15-second reset though. An interesting position. I've never seen it reset in that area before. Shawnee now pushing down this left-hand side, trying to get a little bit of map control for his team. Zed is going to pick one up towards that far left-hand side as well. But now it's going to be a little bit of a gunfight engagement going down here between Johnny. He will drop though to Rated. Now he's going to get that bomb control coming in. Beautiful shots from Rated there. He's able to pick him up. Joe's going to find the other as well. And now you can begin to see the push coming up towards his mid-map area. Rated has the Tempest out as the lead blocker. Seeing if he can pick up a few kills. One to his right-hand side finds him. There's going to be another one with the Tempest. There's 2 down already. There's one more just to be behind him to his right. It doesn't matter though. The push do go through. Johnny will actually fall. The map there, I think, he did fall with the fall damage there. But he was going to be headed towards the right-hand side. He's going to have a big kill to make here, but not going to win it. Zed somehow coming out on top there, being able to pick up Hallie. It's going to be a 3v3 alive at the minute though. Shawnee pushing through this left-hand side barn. This is a big kill. He does make it, and now they can begin to push through Graveyard.
Joe does have the heat wave here. Looks like there's one here inside the graveyard. Heat wave was used. That heat wave countered by another one. Both end up dropping. The satellite drone goes down as well. Hallie's going to be in control of that one, and it looks like Vitality Storm going to go for the rotation once again. There's about a minute left within the first half of this game number 2, and traditionally you don't want this person to be your lead blocker. You might try and give a little bit of a juke. Cut towards the middle of the map. He does have Johnny here in front of him. Let's hop on board with Johnny. He's making his way all the way up. Does have one more lead blocker. The cut watch perfectly, but Johnny ends up losing the gunfight. Hallie's still alive. Detainables is here, but the interception comes in. The drone thrown away. Oh my, Vitality Storm so close yet so far on the push towards background odds.
Yeah, you would have had to think there. Anybody would have thought points were going on the board, but it's a fantastic interception by Shawnee. He actually stays alive as well and able to pick up a kill. And now it's literally turned around so fast, and now they're going the other way. They're coming through Graveyard. The kills have been made. Joe does have lead blockers as well. Surely this is a 2-point. And out of nowhere, when you thought Vitality Storm were putting points on the board, the perfect counter attack there from Team Zed as they're able to find their way all the way through. But Detain, going to be the closest one to the ball, has a big gun engagement to win. Not going to happen though. Johnny maybe can try to force a 1-point throw if he picks up both these kills. That's not going to happen either. Zed now will take it over towards that left-hand side. He does drop as well, but with 3 seconds remaining, that's going to be it for the first half. And what a fantastic counter-attack we've just seen from Team Z.
That sort of 30 seconds, right, sort of sums up everything we've seen so far in its entire series for me. Basically, what it comes down to is Vitality, good push, get all the way there. They're almost sort of over the mountaintop, over the hill, and then something happens and they fall short. As soon as that happens, Zed capitalize on what can seemingly be sometimes a small mistake and convert that into a lead. They did it in game 1. They did it right there in the final few seconds going into the first half of game number 2. Now we're in the second half. Let's see if Vitality start out strong here.
Yeah, I'm watching the right side, Sean. I'll wait to see if he win this gunfight. He did, so he's now going to be able to push to the right side. That's what his teammates are going to want him to have done, and now they can move that ball up. It's going to be Zed. He's in a very difficult area here for the enemy team to deal with him, but actually they do pick up the 3 kills, but he's able to run straight through the middle and throw that 1 point through, so at least he's able to pick up a few points for his team. Map control now, going to be in favour of Vitality Storm though. They don't want to go out this series, and they're going to need to start putting some points on the board if they want that to happen. Surely they're going to be able to use the specialist to his advantage. That's going to be an Annihilator. Picks up 2, and now it's going to be Detain who drops as well. Sean, he snaps across the map with that Annihilator. Now has the ball in hand as well. 225 from the dart, so going to be close to those streaks. He's going to look to try and carry it on with that slaying power, picking up a few more kills, but Johnny's going to be there to end his little streak. We saw Shawnee ended Johnny's streak in the first map, and now it looks like Johnny's returning the favour, ended Shawnee's streak this time, but the ball is in the hands of Team Z, and they want to push this one through mid-map aggressively. All 4 players with the smokes down as well. It's such an aggressive push coming in. It's going to be difficult for these players to deal with. And every single time this player gets towards that Grommo's area, it's so hard to deal with. He's able to slide through though. But for a second, he might be able to get that 1 point throw off, but he's going to be shut down by Insight. And now Johnny will have the ball in hand going towards mid-map.
Strong defensive push, and now look at the utility that Vitality Storm have to work with. They have Detainables, who does have the kinetic armor available. Psychosis is at their disposal as well. They're still getting close to that heat wave. They're getting close to the Tempest, but things will start off with the Psychosis. The toss up and in for Team Vitality Storm. 1 drops, 1 up left for Team Z, who ends up going down. Vitality Storm have another opportunity to get points on the board and try and tie this game. Starts with Detainables here inside the church, ends up going high in the sky, goes down. Hallie's still alive inside. He's gone down as well. Johnny, last man up, just left in the middle of the map, stranded. Anticipating the Z rotation, is going to play this one slow, patient. Lets 1 go over. Knows there are going to be more players here. Chooses the perfect time to strike, but doesn't find the second one. Zed still have control of the streak.
Yeah, unfortunately, Johnny, not knowing that player was coming from that mid-ref area, I thought it was a fantastic play when I saw it building and developing there. But Zed has gone all the way over to the other side of the map, and now he's going to try to force it down the right-hand side. The only problem is he doesn't have many lead blockers around him. He does get heat waved as well. He will definitely drop there. Now the ball's back in the hand of the team of Vitality Storm. It's 5-3 currently, only 1 carry away from tying this one up, but the players are so aggressive. They're in their spawn. Johnny's going to have to do a little bit of defensive work here, and now his teammates will help him as well, picking that kill up. Look at the play coming in here from Hallie. The perfect rotation around the right hand side. Now he can be the lead blocker for his teammate Johnny, who's now going to be looking to rotate over towards his right as well. Hallie needs to pick up this kill. It's not going to happen though, and that was such an important kill for Hallie. If he was able to pick that up, maybe we could have seen a 2-point throw go through. Now the throw does get thrown, and that's unfortunately it does miss. And one thing we always talk about Paradox is 1-point throws that are missed. You need to remember them because they really can come back to just ruin your game.
In sort of the heat of the moment, you really want to make sure you capitalize on those opportunities, right? You need to make sure that you have everything lined up, ready to go, and have the confidence when it comes to that shot. Sometimes that confidence can't come back to hurt you. We saw that a little bit earlier. But now look at this. Something you also have to be able to use. Your specialist weapons rated, did a fantastic job earlier. Missing a couple of shots that time, and that opens the door for Vitality Storm to make their way back through, get a point on the board, and now they're within 1 of tying the game up with just a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, at least this time they're able to hit that 1-point throw, but I love the fact that Johnny literally rotated back. He knew his teammates, he had confidence in them, they were going to set that one. He went straight back towards mid-map, and now he's put the ball in a very difficult area for Team Z to deal with. He's going to be able to get the beat down. Not going to happen though. Shawnee will get the beat down because he had the ball in hand at the time, at that extra health and that 1-punch ability. Now I'm going to wait for his teammates to pick up a few kills though. Looks like they're going to look to rotate this one down the right side. And I love this play because he's baited every single player towards that left hand side. And if he knew it, and I could tell him, he would just run right down that right hand side. Zed's going to be leading the way. They've got kills to make though. Psychosis looks like it's been popped to the left hand side. Johnny did pop into to cause a little bit of distraction, but that player's already through. Zed goes for that 1-point throw. Maybe could have converted a 2 there. Could have taken this one to 7-4, but 50 seconds remain. It's only 1 carry away from tying this game up. Insight has a massive gunfight at this tank to win.
Oh, that was beautiful play by Raider. Uses the Simtex for one, uses his gun for the other one. And the forward pass from Team Z on that last push, absolutely beautiful as well, because that frees up the player in the back to take out one that was trying to come behind outside of Green, and it opened up the door for them to get those points on the board. Now Raider has picked up Satellite Drone, gets the beat down. Hops on the side of Grandma's less than 30 seconds. 1 point toss up and in, 7-4. Team Z lighting everything up here on the map and look poised to walk away with the series.
Yeah, that's going to be the final nail in the coffin. I would think that final point going through. Shawnee is literally just killing everything inside him, and it ends up taking the teammate down. He's going to pick up a 2-piece as well. Hallie knows it's over. He's left as well. 5 seconds do remain in the clock. 7-4 will be your final score. Actually, we'll make it 8. They're going to throw one more point over the top there. 8-4 to Team Z. They will advance through as the first team to reach the semi-finals of our tournament. Commiserations, unlucky to Vitality Storm. Well done for them making it to the quarterfinals, but when you come up against pro players and a team like this, it's very difficult to deal with. Guys, do stick around though, because we are going to get the next match up on stream as soon as we possibly can. And also make sure you check out some of our other YouTube videos that we have on the channel. Just subscribe to us down below, and also like it if you are enjoying the stream as well, guys. And you can also check out some of the videos we have on there as well. But guys, like I said, do stick around. We are going to have another series up for you as soon as we possibly can. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We're going to go to a quick commercial break.
to where it stays. Never clean when it splits. Saying it's a love, fuck it. Only time we love is when we lit. That ain't that a bitch. Sex on the wall, drinks and the drugs, falling pictures in the hall, and we are just gone, but never so close. Sick lie, poison, take another dose. Crash and burn, fall from the sky. See it in your face, this is eating you alive. Heart on your sleeve, won't carry on. This time when we get dressed, I'm gone. Staring at this phone, I should just push send. Digest my words when the clock hits 8 a.m. Appear loud, switch lanes, lights flash in the street. Pride's left in the dark, no heart, both meet till we meet. Close to our feet, no time for the bed. 3 days, no sleep, you know how we get. Bottles on the ground, love's on the counter. In the beginning, who would've thought we would amount to? The people just lost, look at what we did. Maybe it's on me and thoughts that I had. Hearts on our sleeve, won't carry on. This town when we get dressed, I'm gone, gone.
Turn to gray from blue wasn't what I imagined. Take a look at what we've done and what we've become. Take a look at where we've gone from dusk to dawn. If I stayed in your arms, I would've never got this far. I fell for you too fast. Don't know what happened. I really thought that this could last. Wasn't what I imagined. Take a look at what we've done find me and hold me again. Hold me again. Hold me until the
Hey yo, this is Logan from Australia. This is Joseph from Leicester in the UK. This is Benny from Hungary.
Phase 1 complete. Bring in the artists.
What up, guys? This is Trivecta.
Hey guys, it's Anika.
What's up, everybody? This is Grabbit.
Family assembled. We have liftoff.
That's a bad kitty.
Welcome to the Monster Cat Podcast. A place where strangers become friends and friends become family. Taking you on a journey, this is Monster Cat. Hey everyone, welcome to week 2 of our road to ADE. Today's guest is someone many of you are familiar with. Known for his legendary podcast, let's welcome our very own Going Quantum.
Hey, this is episode 124 of the Monster Cat Podcast. I'm Going Quantum, and I'll be taking over for the next 30 minutes. I'm really excited to be playing the Monster Cat Showcase at ADE, and here are some songs you might hear in my set. Enjoy.
There's a pyramid of power with eyes that can see it all. Cameras to capture your image at City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bends against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind of cancerous. How we breathe vapors, greed got us bleeding in streets for cheap paper. Assemble the masses, melt the plastic, combine, realign when the shit gets drastic. Lift the veil when the system's unmasked. It's just another pyramid scheme, a government racket. Divide with the power with Charles Jurassic. Nation T-Rex with covert tactics. Rise from the ashes, take back the Atlas. Bring the madness.
Hope you're enjoying the mix so far. That was Raw and Bring the Madness to kick things off. Right now you're listening to Stone Mag's track Soldier. Everything this guy puts out is fire. Love it.
Come on. Moving like a soldier.
Now for an announcement we know a lot of you have been waiting for. We've officially launched submissions for our 2016 Monster Cat Mix contest. This year we've teamed up with both Splice and Roland to provide a challenge like no other. 8 finalists will compete for a chance to claim the throne and title of champion. Along with an array of prizes, you can check out all contest details at monstercat.com/mixcontest 2016.
Dirty Audio with Gorilla Glue. The track was an amazing Monster Cat debut, and I can't wait for you guys to hear what else he's got.
I can't read your mind. Thinking my heart is starting to turn off blind. Do you still fantasize? Or has our time just come and passed us by? I wanna know how you feel about this love. I wanna know. I wanna know how you feel about this love. I wanna know.
Welcome back, everyone, and now I have some news for you. So, of course, the Esports Hub, we're here to sort of close out Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This sort of goodbye send-off's going to extend a little bit more into tomorrow. We're going to have to continue things over there tomorrow because of some issues going on with the servers. So be right back here tomorrow, 7 p.m. BST. That translates over to 2 p.m. EST for anyone over in America. We will see you then. Follow at the Esports Hub on Twitter. And, of course, Vice behind the scenes making everything go smooth. We'll see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place.